another leveler. The reaction times over the day have been almost identical, so neither shows any weakness there.
Under the bright lights of Houston Raceway Park, all eyes of this massive crowd are directed to the starting line for the finals in Pro Stock Eliminator. The drivers getting themselves set, bringing the RPM on these 500 cubic inch engines to their peak, and Glidden's away first. Oh, so close, but Bob Glidden prevails. He wins his 66th NHRA title and clinches his 9th Winston Championship and the $100,000 share of that $1 million payoff. Listen to the times. Bob Glidden ran 7:33. Warren Johnson went 7:31. Remember, as I told you earlier, each lane is timed separately and the clocks do not start until the car leaves the starting line. Bob Glidden left the starting line 0.05 of a second quicker than did Warren Johnson. That means at the finish line, by some 0.03 of a second, Bob Glidden was the winner of the Fram Super Nationals, and that was the margin of victory.
What a debut of a brand new race car. But Bob Glidden, you as a driver won this one. Your reaction time, 7:33 yours, 7:31 Warren's.
I knew it was going to be a close race, Steve, and you know, give Warren a second here to get by. He's been a little early, and he's been a little late. I told the boys I figured he'd be right on time. We thought it would be a really good race, and you know, the car come a long way at this race. We've had problems, and it made a nice run in the final.
The only thing it lacked was a little bit of consistency.
That's right, and the last couple 3 runs has been consistent.
Bob Glidden wins another one. Great job.
Bob Glidden against Tony Christian. The classic Ford versus Chevrolet battle, the final in Pro Stock Eliminator. Both drivers taking their time about staging. Glidden's concentration pointed one way, to the Christmas tree. Buster waving Tony Christian forward. Glidden makes the move to high gear. A close race, and it's Tony Christian pulling it out. Tony Christian upsets Bob Glidden 7.50 seconds. His speed 183 miles an hour in another close race. Tony Christian has won the North Star Nationals. As we look again, you see a very slight advantage at the start by Christian. Just about 1/100th of a second was all the advantage he had. Bob Glidden at the middle of the track was right alongside, but was unable to pull ahead of the Chevrolet of Christian. And there you see it. That was the margin of victory for the upset of the day. A screaming Tony Christian showing the emotion of the moment as he wins his 2nd race of the year. Steve?
Well, Dave, Tony Christian just came out of this Chevrolet like a caged gorilla. You had a 1/100th hole shot. You won a 50, he won a 49, theoretically a dead heat. Unbelievable.
Well, when was the last time you thumped a Ford? Have you thumped a Ford lately?
You had no idea you won till you saw us coming.
I didn't know I won. It was so close. I mean, we didn't know. I think we both shook the tires on the way down.
Well, I have a feeling it's Butch Leal who might start wearing Tony Christian T-shirts.
I might not change this thing. Thank you, everybody at Rear Morrison. Okay, they're the ones that did it for me.
And a lot of good driving on your part, Mark.
That's more of them.
Rare and Morrison, the engine builders for Tony Christian, the Pro Stock champion. Right now on the starting line, it is time for the Pro Stock Finals. In the near lane is Don Beverly. In the far lane is Harry Scribner, who had the choice of lanes in this final round confrontation. A green light start. And a close race at the finish line. Harry Scribner wins it. The entire crew celebrating the first ever victory for Harry Scribner. Let's watch again. You see here the advantage by Harry Scribner at the start. It was 0.03 of a second difference between the two drivers in their reaction to that green light. At the finish line, that is what was the margin of victory for Harry Scribner, as both drivers recorded identical 7.49 second elapsed time. Harry Scribner, your Pro Stock champ.
Well, Harry Scribner, his brothers Tom and Dick have done something not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can do. You've won an NHRA national event in Pro Stock. I'll shake that hand.
Winning our home state, that's pretty good.
How long have you been trying?
Well, we've been racing. We had some records back in '57. My uncle used to run Super Stock and stuff. Ever since then, we've been on and off racing and doing the business stuff and all that.
Finalists have completed their burnouts. Bruce Allen has selected the lane nearest the camera. Morris Johnson Jr., driving his Pontiac Trans Am, is in the far lane of the track. Johnson, a bit of an unknown quantity in final round racing. He has never before made the finals of an NHRA championship event. Bruce Allen, finishing number 3 in the Winston Chase last season, has already won a major event this year, the Gator Nationals in Gainesville, Florida. Johnson getting the word to stage. He's out in front of Bruce Allen. And once again, Allen is able to drive around to the championship. 7.44 seconds. The time for Morris Johnson, a 7:52. But what a hole shot for Morris Johnson Jr. Nearly 0.08 of a second advantage at the starting line for the Pontiac, as Allen Chevrolet was far behind at the green light. But at half-track, the move was beginning to be made by Allen. But it is pure horsepower at this point, and Allen Chevrolet prevails.
How about Morris Johnson Jr.? He's a driving son of a gun.
Oh, man, he's awesome. He does a good job, pulls up there every time. You know you got to do good against him, and he's always there. He's great driver.
Was there a moment on that racetrack, on that quarter mile, you thought, it's not me today?
Well, when I pulled it over in second gear, that was the first time I was really aware of where I was, and I could see he was out there about half a fender ahead, and I thought it's going to take some power to get by him, and it did, but we got by him.
On the line, though, Pro Stock. This is the Pro Stock final. That is Bruce Allen, ready to face Butch Leo.
Butch Leo and Bruce Allen. That's a pair to draw to, all right. And you can bet that it's going to be who gets off the line first is probably who's going to win this race, because these cars are almost identical in elapsed times.
Pro Stock across the board, a very evenly matched category. These two cars are probably about as even as they come. So it will be Bruce Allen on the near side, Butch Leo on the far side. Both of them watch the light. The revs come up, they inch forward, and now they watch for a yellow and then a green, and there it is. They're running.
An obvious hole shot by Butch Leo. That crease in the holster has worked again. Oh, but Bruce Allen powers by the win. Buddy Morris and David Weir, who owned the car, celebrating a 7:36. But that's what it took, Don Gurlitz, to beat Leo's 7:41. Watch Leo as he leaves the line. Obviously out in front of Bruce Allen, but he doesn't stay there all that long as Bruce Allen's power pulls right up on him and powers by him. I don't think that Leo was ready for a 7:36.
Bruce Allen out of the Chevy Beretta, the Gator Nationals champion. Butch appeared to leave first, but you'll like this number, 736. Horsepower prevails.
The rear Morrison guys make some power. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for that, Butch, I mean, what a guy. You're racing. The guy goes out there and leaves on me almost every time. I mean, you need a new driver. We said before, more power or a new driver, and they gave me some power, so I got some reprieve.
The only problem with you beating Butch is then he just goes and punishes you on the golf course. You guys play about...
He just got done doing that here. We went out and played Tuesday or Wednesday, and he just...
40-some-odd holes?
40-some, played 42 holes, and he was 2 over par for 40 holes. Well, he just buries me.
You came up a few strokes short here today. Congratulations. You won it over a very tough competitor.
Well, I'm really... He is a tough guy. Thank you.